I'm personally of the belief that I think Pete Rose's issue to begin with is foolish. I understand why it's looked so down upon. One, you're not supposed to be doing it. Two, he lied about it. He's lying about it is what kills him. But that being said, Pete Rose, if you watched him play, he played 150% every single time he was on the field.
Of course.
Did I think that he might have bet against his team because he's like, I got to catch for this guy, and this guy is trash. We're not winning this game. I could totally see him betting against his team in that situation just because he believes that the odds aren't in his favor. But I don't think Pete Rose would have done anything to swing a game to lose. I think Pete Rose would have been like, if they won the game after he bet for them to lose, he would have been like, crap, we won. Sure, I lost a bunch of money, but whatever, we won. I didn't see that coming. Pete Rose's demeanor doesn't make me take away anything from the sport. His choices doesn't take away anything from his actions in that sport. But if you look at someone like A-Rod, Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, you did things deliberately.
Only one of them were proven.
Doesn't matter. You did things allegedly to alter the outcome of the game for your own benefit. That is cheating. What Pete Rose did might have been stupid, might have been a lapse in judgment. It was stupid that he lied about it. I don't really care that he bet on the games. I don't think that it affected the games. So personally, I think that the Pete Rose argument is a really dated argument that should have been over years ago, when we should be focusing on the people that are trying to cheat the integrity of the actual sport to get an advantage. There's a big difference between cheating and you placed a bet. So,
would it be fair to say that you think, because I know I think this, that with gambling, sports gambling, we gotta make sure we're saying this correctly. It is sports gambling.
Yes.
Not all gambling.
No, because all gambling is not illegal. It's gambling on the sport.
So, would it be a fair assessment for me to assume or think that you would be okay with or agree with the idea that athletes would have written into their contracts that you cannot gamble on your sport?
I don't know if it's can't gamble on your sport. I think it should be written that you can't gamble on your team. Because it's your team that's in the game that you can influence. Mm-hmm. If you want to bet on if you play in the East Coast and it's like Knicks against Philadelphia and you're a Philadelphia player, if you want to bet on Golden State Houston, you can't influence that game. I don't give a crap. Go ahead and bet on it. But if you have direct influence in the game, if you're part of that game, I think it should be illegal that you cannot bet on the game that you have a factor in deciding. That's my opinion.
Okay.
If you have a direct influence on the game, you can't bet on it. If it's another game where you can't... What are you going to do? It's not like you can change the game that's across the coast. I don't care if you bet on that game.
Because of the integrity of the game and the uncomfort that I would feel, I think you should be limited to only betting outside of your league.
I mean, that's an argument that they're going to have. That's my personal opinion, because I don't think it... I think that you should only be restricted from betting on something that you can influence. You can't bet on something that you have a direct hand in the outcome of that game. That's my issue. If you can alter the odds in your favor, then no, obviously not. Only casinos can do that.
I would love to see like you know how they do like the skills challenge, like a prop bet challenge. I think that would be awesome.
I think you're opening the door for that. I mean, prop bets happen all the time.
Like a complete all-star game type thing, like half court shots. Will Steph Curry hit 4 or less or 5 or more?
Yeah, that happens. That happens in Vegas. You can bet on crap like that.
Well, I mean, the NBA actually set aside time simply for that. Oh. Here's our bet-a-thon. 30% of proceeds go to St. Jude's. Whatever it is.
I'd be for it, because I would be all about it. It'd make me watch probably All-Star games more, because I don't care. All-Star games are basically jerk fests for these players. Let's all get together and jerk each other off and how great we were this season. That's basically what they've become. There's no competition in these things.
There's no competition.
Nobody's trying. It's just let's get together so that we can all appreciate how amazing we are and basically make ourselves feel really good. That's all that All-Star games are now. That's why I don't watch them. I don't care. You want to know what's the most entertaining event to me that it has to do with All-Stars? The home run derby.
Oh, no. The NFL Skills Challenge, those contests, those are awesome. They had kick-tack-toe. They had kickers playing tic-tac-toe.
I also like the NHL Skills Challenge, and I also like the way the NHL does their All-Star game. 3-on-3, divide all the conferences. Sure, make it entertaining and a little bit of a tournament. At least there's some kind of like competitiveness to it, where the NBA, it's like, oh, let's see how many people can lob dunk.
I think the NHL, what they should do is do 3-on-3 with the goalie. The goalie plays every game, and you do a mini tournament from each team, 3 players, and then the next game, 3 different players.
You could do it that way.
Yeah, let every team play.
With it. I don't watch that crap anymore.
Okay.
I have better things to worry about.
They made the Pro Bowl boring again.
Oh my God, the Pro Bowl sucks.
The Pro Bowl's been awful because, again, it's at the end of the year. These guys are all on vacation. Clearly, you didn't make it far enough in the playoffs so that you're even in here in the first place. And secondly, nobody wants to get hurt when they're about to go spend a month in Boca or some bullshit.
Could you imagine if, like, all right, guys, Bill Belichick's all right, guys.
They might as well make it a flag football tournament.
That would be smart.
It would be better.
Yeah, and then
because we know you guys don't want to get hurt. We get that, but you know what? Do something to entertain me, because right now I could go down to Gildel and Pop Warner and see a better game than that. At least those kids are trying. They don't know what they're doing. Jimmy's running the wrong way. He's not even a receiver. He's a lineman, but he's running downfield. He's trying.
Oh, man.
There's no blocking. There's just,
Yeah.
You're not going to go for the quarterback.
Trae Young looks so uninterested in being at this event tonight. It's not funny. He does not. It's the NBA draft lottery, which they're stupidly doing during playoffs. I don't understand it.
Is there a game going on right now, or are they doing this before?
This is before the game. But yeah, there is a game on after.
Cleveland plays tonight?
Yeah. Cleveland Celtics. But Trae Young just looks so disinterested in being at the draft lottery. He's probably like, man, I hope I'm not drafted by the Knicks.
Yeah, well, you probably will be.
Oh, I hope not. I don't want the Knicks to draft any of them.
Need a guard.
Well, if they need someone, I think Colin Sexton is who I'd rather have, the kid from Alabama, who him and one other player almost beat Minnesota 5-on-2 for like half of the second half. But we're digressing, and we need to get back on topic.
But that's a good transition into the NBA playoffs.
That is a good transition to the NBA playoffs, which is what we are going to be talking about next. So, actually, we were going to do NHL, but we'll go to NBA first. NBA playoffs, there are 2 series going on right now. One against 2 teams that we all hate, and the other against 2... Oh, wait, so it's 4 teams that we all hate. We have, in the East, the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics. And in the West, we have the Golden State Warriors and the Houston Rockets. So let's start in the East. Oh, excuse me. We'll start in the East. The Celtics, they played against the Bucks, right? It was Celtics Bucks for the first series?
I believe so.
Okay. So Celtics beat the Bucks. Then they got the Sixers. That was an entertaining series for a game.
Well, no, actually, if you think about it, a lot of those games, I mean, they went into overtimes more than once. Most games were decided by less than 5 points. That actually was probably the most competitive series we've seen this entire time, other than LeBron
Pacers. No,
which was interesting until like the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, there was another one in the West. What was it? That was entertaining.
Not Pelicans and Warriors, was it? I mean, for maybe a little bit, but
I mean, the Pelicans game, Pelicans winning their first series was entertaining.
Oh, I mean, not really.
No, but nobody saw the Pelicans coming out of that game,
let alone sweeping.
Yeah,
the Blazers.
Not to mention they had Boogie Cousins on the bench. So I mean,
yeah.
I mean, imagine how good they could have been if they had both of them out there.
See, I'm in the minority here, but I don't think having Boogie Cousins on the court with Anthony Davis really does anything to help Anthony Davis.
It may not, but I don't know that they're the direct combination. The problem is that they're two really good athletes at almost the exact same position.
With two different philosophies. One, Anthony Davis is a team-first kind of guy, where he's going to do what he can to make sure the team succeeds, and Boogie Cousins is a jokester who's just out there to have fun.
Well,
and
Boogie Cousins
really
also spent most of his career in Sacramento, where the team never really mattered.
I mean, that's his fault for being drafted so high.
Yeah, that's definitely his fault.
Too good.
Maybe he should have played a little less good and he'd have been drafted a pick after.
Yeah, and Sacramento, the only place where you get punished for being successful.
That's not true. Cleveland, Detroit.
Yeah, that's true. Every sport has their death hole.
Yes, every sport does have their death hole, and
I don't know. I don't have a lot to say about the NBA playoffs. Yawn is the
Really?
best word I can give you. Like, it was more entertaining in the first rounds than I thought it was going to be, but I think that was just the competitive nature of it. But again, we're now getting to a point where we're just back to what we thought was going to happen at the beginning of the year. The fact that Boston even made it here is extremely impressive, given the fact that they lost Kyrie before the playoffs. They haven't had Gordon Hayward for the entire
the first game, right after Dan Beebe drafted him.
I know.
Like, literally 5 minutes later.
So I'm kind of impressed by Boston getting this far, and it's nice to see that run. But I mean, I don't know that Boston's going to be able to win in a 7-game series. Then again, it's pretty much LeBron against everyone else because there's no one on that team.
And they shut LeBron down. I mean, for LeBron's...
Yeah, but that's one night. You can't hope to do that for 7 games. It's just not going to happen. Indiana tried to do it and didn't work.
Indiana was doing it by committee. The Celtics know who they want on LeBron.
I get that, but it's only a matter of time before LeBron is going to pick apart that to the point that he's going to take advantage of it. Is what he does every time.
Unless he plays Kawhi.
There's only 2 people in the NBA who can guard him straight up.
Kawhi and Durant.
In my opinion, it's Kawhi and Iguodala.
Iggy
Plays really well defense against him. Iguodala can't do much else, but he can lock down LeBron.
It's because Iguodala's surprisingly, he's strong enough to be as physical as LeBron. He's fast enough to catch LeBron. He's lanky enough to block shots from anywhere on the court.
Yeah, he contested shots.
And he puts in extreme effort. And that's why. Same thing with Kawhi. Kawhi in his prime is as athletic now as LeBron is.
He's playing. Because it's just the fact that he's not playing right now. And I don't necessarily know that it has anything to do with his nonsense with... I don't know about his injury. I don't know if he's fully happy in San Antonio, regardless of what people say.
Well, whether he is or not, the Spurs still hold his future in their hands. He doesn't have a no trade because, first of all, he doesn't qualify for it because he's only on his second contract now.
Yeah,
and he hasn't reached the supermax deal, so he's not able to request that no trade. And also because, well, I mean, the Spurs can do whatever they want. They have his contract.
Well, yeah, that's neither here nor there. They're not in the playoffs this year. I'm kind of just disappointed in the playoffs because I feel like it's going to break down to exactly what we thought at the beginning of the season.
Golden State Cavaliers?
Yeah, and I don't see another way to stop it. I think that Philly offered an exciting term, but I also think that they were young, and they got too deep into the playoffs, and there wasn't enough in the tank, and they didn't have the experience there to do it. That being said, Philly said all throughout the year, them getting into the playoffs and making this run was 1 year earlier than they thought it was going to happen. They banked on this being 2019,
right?
Not 2018. So, I mean, not to mention, if they could actually get Fultz to come into his own and actually play more than 16 games, that might help them.
It might. The thing that I've noticed with the 76ers is, and it's kind of funny because I kind of contradict myself on it, I don't think Ben Simmons is a rookie. In the NBA is the only league.
Yeah, the way that they word that is, I have some issues with it too.
Okay, that is ridiculous. But watching him play in that series against the Celtics, he looked like a rookie.
Yeah, well, that's again, you're looking at these guys, and everybody had the confidence going in 16-game win streak before the playoffs and everything. Yeah, but you overlook the fact that this is still a young team. None of them have playoff experience. The only person on that
J.J.
roster,
Redick.
yeah, but he was the only